Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and this is one where I was using some of Dina's previous release. Oh goodness, that's not a good start, is it? So I'm starting off adding some collage paper. This is from the Grids collage paper set. I'm using some matte medium to stick this in place into the small craft journal. No surprise, definitely is my favourite journal. I think one of the things I really love about it is the size. It isn't overwhelming to use. It's just a nice size page to work on, and you know, you can quite easily compose a page fairly quickly in the space that's available in this little journal. And of course, there's the fact that it's great for cutout pages. So if you're interested in making a whole journal of cutout pages, there is a 13-week class on my website called Alter Cut Create, and take you through the whole process of creating an altered journal. So now I am using the floor tile stencil and some mineral. I'm adding the paint onto my page and then removing some of the paint using a baby wipe. So a little tip, just to squeeze your baby wipe out before you start, just so that it doesn't leak too much moisture underneath the stencil before you get started. And then you get a really nice removal of paint through the stencil. Obviously this only works when your paint is still wet. So sorry about the shaking camera, I must have kept knocking it. So here I've just mixed a little bit of black with the mineral, just a tiny bit, just to make a slightly darker tone, and then I'm going to repeat the same process. So I'm starting to build up those layers of interest in the background. I'm starting off with a fairly monochrome background, just keeping those colours like nice greys, because I had an idea for this page. Now it didn't really come together how I thought it would do when I started, but you know, it was good enough. So, and I enjoyed doing it. It was lots of fun to play with the stamp set, to create this kind of really calm, peaceful background, and then add the very bright, bold pops of colour. So this is the dash column stencil, and I'm using it in this horizontal way, just to pull the eye across the page a little bit. And here I'm using mineral that I've added some white to. So far I've just used three colours. I've used the mineral, the black and the white, and I've created these lovely shades. Then I'm just adding some splatters because I've got a little bit of that paint left. So I just thought, let's go in with a few splatters. Next, I've grabbed an archival ink in a really lovely grey, and I'm just popping in a bit of text stamping. This is my Shoot for the Stars text stamp from Funky Fossil. Just adding that onto my page as well. Okay, so next I am going to create like some music lines, like music notation would go on. I'm doing them quite wavy. I'm also going to go in and make them a bit thicker in some places. So my thinking was I was going to use a stamp set to create some musical notes which I was going to write on. It ended up not quite working that way, but it still sort of reflected the idea that I started out with. And sometimes, you know, these pages, they're just about having a bit of fun. It was an idea that popped into my head in the middle of the night, and amazingly I could still remember it in the morning, which quite often never happens. Yeah, so here I'm just doing the treble clef on the end of those lines, and then I've grabbed a couple of pieces of cardstock and I'm just going to add some rainbow colours onto these, using the usual colours for this. So ruby, tangerine, lemon, lime, turquoise. Can't remember whether it was orchid or iris and magenta maybe at the end. And I'm going to use these to stamp my what were going to be musical notes, but they ended up just being little bars with the text on. So I think just trying to remember that you know, you can be flexible once you start a page. If you do start off with an idea in your mind of what you want to do, just think, you know, okay, that isn't quite what I intended. It hasn't quite gone how I thought. Okay, well, what can I do now? How can I make it work? How can I still run with my idea and just tweak it slightly. So trying to be a little bit flexible as well when the plan doesn't go to plan. So yeah, these colours are so pretty together, and I do think the new iris colour, this one here, is just my absolute favourite. I love it, and with magenta as well, it is so pretty. It's such a pretty lilac-y purple colour. Yes, I just find myself reaching for it all the time. And then, yes, magenta, like I thought. So once those cards were dry, I then used one of the stamps from the stamp set. You'll see which one in a second. And added some stamping on to these cards. So making sure that the colours were running down like that. So I got kind of a pop of rainbow colours, and then dried those and cut them out. I've added a little bit of text stamping as well onto there too. And then, you see, I was thinking these would make great musical notes, but they were just a little bit too thick, so didn't quite work that way. But, you know, that's okay. I managed to make it work. And is often the way. Sometimes the pages that I think I'm not really keen on it are the ones that end up getting the most comments on social media. It's very strange. I can never call it. So I wasn't at all surprised to see that people kind of were like, oh, really like it, really like this page. And I was posting it on Instagram thinking, it's not one of my favourites. It didn't kind of work how I hoped, but yeah, it doesn't matter. That's all good. So then I'm just writing these words on from a Queen song. Don't Stop Me Now, I'm having such a good time. Yes, because I generally do. When I'm journaling, I'm having a fab time. And it's such a great way to switch off as well and kind of relax and let go of what's been going on during the day. So I'm just using these little boxes as an opportunity to write my quote. And then I'm going in, adding some little white highlights using a Signo Uniball, just to give those letters a bit more definition. So one other thing that isn't actually on the video, but I did end up doing, was adding some black notes onto the music lines in between these pops of colour. I've also added some white circles using an old piece of card tubing that I've got, a little stash I've collected. There's some black dotty stamps been added as well, and of course more splatters, because you can't have too many splatters, can you? And like I say, I also added in some musical notes, which you can kind of see there. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again soon.